the second part of my Q&A video, and I split it up because there were just so many questions to answer that the video was becoming way too long for me to get it uploaded. In a recent community post, I asked my viewers to provide some questions that they might have about myself or my lifestyle here on the homestead in remote Alaska. So today I'm going to answer those questions. There was a question about have I met any other YouTubers here in Alaska? In person, no. But as you know, I've been doing the Meet the YouTuber series where I've taken the opportunity to get to know some of the YouTubers that I follow a little bit better and share that opportunity with you, my viewer. I post those on Sundays, and for those of you that have watched those, I really appreciate that, and I'm sure they do too. And I plan to continue to do that series, and maybe in the future I'll be able to meet some other Alaskan YouTubers. But as I mentioned, the distance between me and most people is fairly vast, and most of the other YouTubers that I know, they live either in Delta Junction in the Fairbanks area, or they're out in the Mat-Su Valley somewhere. And again, that would take some planning to get together with people, though it's not out of the question either. So lots of things yet to be seen in the future. We'll just have to play it by ear and see how things go. And speaking of playing things by ear and seeing how things will go, is the question was posed about, will I ever plan on moving back to the lower 48 when I get older or my health were to fail? And that's just one of those things where only time will tell. Honestly, I don't see myself moving back to the lower 48. There are the same amenities here, hospice, hospitals, nursing homes, things like that here in Alaska. And if it came to that point, I would probably choose to stay in Alaska. But again, never say never, and we'll have to see. But for now, my focus is on being here in Alaska. And my immediate focus is everything that needs to be done on the property. I have so much going on that I don't have time to think years and years and possibly decades down the road. There's so many projects here on the property still to be done, and one of those includes my garden. So just over my shoulder is the original garden area that the previous owners had. And you can see it's quite overgrown. So I have my work cut out for me here. I'm going to flip the camera around a little bit and just show you that it's quite the jungle back here. And so I need to bring in somebody to clear the lot back here. And then I need to dig out all these beds of all the grass and the weeds and everything that have grown up. Plus there is trees that have grown up in the beds. And we have voles here, which, you know, will dig up underneath the beds and tunnel through the crops and stuff. So most likely I'll be doing raised beds. And then I'll be doing also some permaculture type gardening as well. Because I do plan on growing some fruit trees. I also plan on growing berries here. On the property so far, I found strawberries and lingonberries. I don't have any blueberries or high bush cranberries here. But I do plan on planting some, and raspberries I have found on the property. So I do plan on growing those as an understory crop, and then mixed in with some ground cover, what most people might consider weeds, wild lettuce and dandelions, as well as some feverfew yarrow, which grows here wildly, as well as echinacea and things like that, medicinal type weeds or herbs. And then above that, I would love to grow some fruit trees, potentially some apple trees, if I can get a variety that will tolerate the cold winters here, because the ambient temperature here gets down to about -50 for a couple weeks on end, if not longer. And I know that there have been times where it's gotten down to -60, and so I need those trees to be able to survive those temperatures. But it'll be a mixture mainly of raised beds and then the orchard with, you know, different layers of stories of plants going on. It'll mainly be cold weather crops, potatoes, carrots, and brassicas, as well as peas. I do love fresh garden peas, and so that's mainly it'll be. I'm not much of eating tomatoes or peppers, And so I probably won't grow those things. I'll just buy what I want from the store and store those for the winter time. I plan on putting in an outdoor kitchen back here as well. And in the outdoor kitchen, I'll have a propane cook stove so that I can, as most of the canning is done in a warm month or the warmer months. And so I'll need a way to do that. I can't really regulate the canning temperature on the wood stove. So lots of big plans for this area back here. And at that point, I'll have it fenced in as well. And so I won't have to be constantly looking over my shoulders. One of the other things about the garden that I'm really excited for is I do have plans to purchase a tractor. If possible, I'd like to purchase a John Deere tractor because they're made in the USA. They have a great service plan and they offer financing. And so if possible, that's what I'll be purchasing. Hopefully a brand new John Deere, though, you know, that's fingers crossed on that one. And that will allow me to take care of some of the things on the property myself, such as, you know, moving dirt if I need to, you know, getting some attachments for a brush hog and like that to keep the saplings from growing back up, and also to plow my driveway because, as you may or may not know, last year I was not able to get off my property, as I mentioned previously, for about 4 months because I got snowed in, which I knew was going to happen. But I don't want to have to rely upon someone else to come out and have to plow the driveway. So having a tractor will be very useful here. So someone asked about how do I deal with people that are rude or step over the line and just to get too personal. And to be honest with you, I will ban people from this channel. I read every comment. And if someone's come to this channel with just negativity, say they're criticizing my decisions on the cabin, but they're being very negative about it. You know, there's nothing constructive to take out of it. Or they're criticizing my looks personally, things that are outside of my control, I will immediately ban them. So you, as the independent viewer, might not see those negative comments because I don't tolerate any of that. If you're not adding to the conversation, there is no point in you being here on this channel as far as those who are commenting. And for those of you that comment and leave constructive feedback, you know, you tell me that my volume is too high, or you tell me that there's something wrong with the film, or, you know, you might want to consider this in your construction process or whatever. I appreciate that stuff more than you can imagine. Those things help me improve. And so I appreciate all of that. And I appreciate all the well wishes and the kind words that come from my viewers as well. So thank you for that. Those things are greatly appreciated. I won't be doing sponsorships on this channel for things that I won't use, things that I can't stand behind, or things that I don't think are of value to the viewers of my channel. If it doesn't provide anything to you, why would I mention it to you? This channel is not only about my life here, but it's also for those of you who are not only looking for some entertainment and a distraction from the everyday world, but also for the dreamers that are looking to live this lifestyle or have thought about living this lifestyle and want to live vicariously through this channel. And so I want to keep things in alignment with that and make sure that you're getting the type of content that you're hoping to get. And speaking of the content that you're hoping to get, I will say that I am very grateful for each and every one of you, as well as the members of this channel. The members of this channel help support not only some of the endeavors that I hope to take on, such as, you know, when I do some of these travel type videos, but also they are providing me with the ability to upgrade my camera equipment or my software or even my computer systems for editing these videos. And really the only perk that they're getting in return for their donation is priority response to the comments. So I make it a point to read every single comment. And as the channel is grown so much, I'm finding it more and more difficult to get to the comments, especially during this summer as, You know, I'm very busy not only with my day job, but all the construction that's going on the property. And what my goal is at this moment is to let everybody know that I've read your comment. So I plan on going through and giving everyone a heart as I read your comment, and then I'll go back through and respond to the comments. But the members do get priority responses, so I do respond to them first, and that's really about the only perk that they get, other than they might get a sneak peek image of the upcoming video, so they have an idea of what the video might entail before it actually gets posted. When I originally started the membership side of my channel, I had every intention of just putting it out there for those that want to support the channel. I'm not asking anybody to join the membership that doesn't want to join. And YouTube, unfortunately, doesn't allow me to put together a join video without publishing it to everybody, you know, that comes into contact with this type of content on YouTube. And if it was up to me, I would not have published that video publicly. I would have just left it on the join button for those that are interested in seeking that as a way of supporting, you know, the channels that they like. But unfortunately, that's not how YouTube works. And because they published that video publicly, I did lose around 77, I say around, I did lose exactly 77 subscribers to date from making a membership option available on this channel. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with losing those subscribers. That might sound odd to say, but if someone cannot understand that there are people out there that love to support those that put forth effort into their videos and provide quality entertainment, then that is an issue with themselves and not with me. I want to make sure that if you're wanting to support, that you have the availability to do so. So not only do I have the membership side of my channel, but I also have a Patreon, PayPal, and an Amazon wish list available for those of you that are interested in supporting the channel through donations or by purchasing things that might be on my Amazon wish list. Most of the things on that wish list are things to help me make videos for you, such as more SD cards, things like that. So none of it is just me being greedy. It's that I know that there are those out there that want to support, and this is a way that I can provide you an opportunity to do so. And if you're not wanting to or able to, there's no hard feelings on my end. I completely understand. I'm a very frugal person, and I understand that money is tight all the way around. So for those of you that do support, though, I am very grateful for everything that you have helped this channel with. And I also have my P.O. box listed on the About page and in the description of all my videos. If you are planning on sending something to my P.O. box that you are aware that it can be very costly to ship things to Alaska. And so before you go out and make an investment into an item that you would like to ship here, that you figure out how much that item weighs, that you go to USPS.com and that you get an estimate of what it's going to cost to ship those items here before doing so, because it might actually cost more than the item itself. And I would hate for you to make that investment and then find out that the shipping just is not worth it for you. Just be aware that I will not be accepting any packages after October 1st, and all packages will be refused at the P.O. box and they'll be returned to you, the sender. If you're planning on sending something here, you might want to make sure that you send it towards the beginning or middle of September at the latest to ensure that it arrives in time for me to collect that package before I shut off accepting packages at the P.O. box. I would hate for you to ship something and then it arrives after October 1st and it gets returned to you. I would be devastated if that happened. But as I mentioned, I'm not much for winter driving, especially here because there's no center divider on the highways. There is a pretty steep drop off on the highways that is about 15 to 20 feet or greater in some areas. And in a lot of areas, there's not a guardrail or anything like that. And when you're driving on the highways here in wintertime, they are pure ice. and generally if there's oncoming traffic, it's a tanker, an oil tanker that's heading your way. And if a moose or some other animal were to jump out in front of you, it could be life-ending. So I tend to stay put during the winter months, only venturing off to get water and come back if need be. And one of the other things is that I know people have been curious about is my tire situation in the wintertime. Currently, I have BF Goodrich KO2s on my vehicle, and I love those tires. Those tires are fantastic. And I was actually told by the locals here on this side of the state that you don't really need studded snow tires, that as long as you have tires with an aggressive tread, you'll be fine, because even though the roads are icy, they are sticky. And so as long as you have that aggressive tread, that'll generally help you have some traction on the roads. But with that being said, I know that there are still people here that do switch out their tires seasonally. There's a lot of roads in the area that will have big signs posted as you enter the road that says no studded snow tires from May 15th to September 15th. So studded snow tires are an option for those of you who might be planning to move to Alaska. But again, it just, I think, depends upon whether you're closer to one of the municipalities or if you're in a remote area, you might want to just consider aggressive tread like I've done here. As the seasons change, I have wanted to get out and explore Alaska more. And as construction starts to wind down for this season on the property, I do plan on getting out and doing some exploring, especially while my son's here. Not only because I feel like, I should allow him the opportunity to do some sightseeing while he's here, but because I'm curious and want to do some as well. I am an avid fisher. I love to fish. When I was in Colorado, every single weekend I would head off either overlanding or fishing, and I would love to have the opportunity to do that here in Alaska. In the winter months or as fall approaches, I'd also like the opportunity to do some hunting. Currently, I have plans to do some small game hunting here on the property, but I would love to do some big game hunting as well so I can provide meat for myself and Kenai. And I know that Alaska has a women's only course for hunting, which I'm going to look into taking, but also my contractor, who I have agreed the use of the bunkhouse for during hunting season, is hoping to come out to this area and allow me to join him on some hunting adventures. And then hopefully I can learn firsthand experience from him in how to field dress a moose or a bear or some other animal like that. And I'm all about firsthand knowledge. I think that's important, which also brings me to the topic of, what are some of the other things that I do for entertainment? And when it comes to reading books, I prefer to read primary sources and books about history or even biographies like Dick Prinnicke's biography. I love resource guides such as the Back to Basics book. I don't have any of my books here with me currently, and so if I did, I would be holding them up. I'm not into fiction at all. I love to research things on various topics, and if I'm going to be reading something about history, it's generally something pre-20th century that will capture my eye and keep me involved in reading it. So books are generally one of those things that when I have some downtime or if there's something I'm interested in, I'll pick up a book and just dive right into it to get the information that I need. Outside of that, some of the other hobbies that I have is that I love to sew. Once I get my stuff up here, I'll have my sewing machines and I'll begin to sew some things for the cabin as well as some clothing items for myself. And I can't wait to get that underway. I also love to listen to music. I'm a huge fan of Charlie Crockett as well as Colter Wall, but I have an antique Victrola that is coming up with my son. I'm really excited to have my Victrola here and to play some of those old 78s and just let that music fill the cabin with the beautiful sounds of some of the old vinyl that I have, and just sit out on the porch listening to that and sewing. So don't worry, Janet, I haven't forgotten you. I will put that together for you so you can live vicariously through this channel and live out your dreams that way. I appreciate all of you that are able to pick up some of your dreams through the things that I'm able to do here on the cabin. As I was mentioning about hunting and fishing and doing these things in the warmer months, there's also the winter to consider. And so in the winter time, I would love to be able to go snow machining. I used to snow machine back in Colorado years and years ago, and that is a very fun day's adventure, just being able to go out on a snow machine. But I'm sure here I'll have to do it for more utilitarian reasons as well. So snow machining and snowshoeing are some of the things that I plan on doing. I'd also love to be able to go out and explore some of the glaciers, though I have a feeling that'll be done more in the warm months as well. Just being able to see all of Alaska and everything that Alaska has to offer throughout each of the seasons is fabulous. What I'd also like to do is provide each of you some footage of what it's like here in the fall. The colors in the fall are fantastic. I was really surprised when I arrived here to see that Alaska has a true fall season and that the colors do change. It doesn't last very long, only a few weeks, but it's phenomenal. And so I'll put together a video this coming fall for everybody as well, so that you can see how beautiful Alaska is in that season. As the seasons change in Alaska, so does the amount of light that I have available to me in Alaska. The days become very short in the winter months. It's midday. It's around 1 o'clock actually. And there's the sun. The sun is not very high over there on that horizon. And it's only going to get lower and lower as the days go on. And then there's basically 24 hours of sunlight in these warmer months. It doesn't really affect me. I work so hard. I'm constantly going on projects that when I sit down, my body says, oh, you must be done. And I can close my eyes and fall asleep like that. It doesn't matter if it's bright, sunny, or if it's dark. I don't experience any change in my personality or my demeanor during those changes. So I am very fortunate, though, that I am able to deal with it regardless of the temperature or the amount of daylight. In the area where I live, there are several volcanoes, though most of them are dormant. I believe there's only one active volcano located behind my property in the Wrangell Mountains. I have not experienced a volcano eruption here, and I don't expect that that's going to happen. All of the volcanoes in the area have not been truly active in over, about 50,000 years, and they're not expected to become active anytime soon, according to the government websites that I have researched. Most of the volcanoes that are active in Alaska, as well as where most of the earthquakes that occur in Alaska, are along the Aleutian Islands, or what's known as the Ring of Fire. And luckily for me, the particular area where I'm situated, we don't get that many earthquakes. It's not to say that they can't happen, it's just that they happen very infrequently. And luckily, where my cabin is positioned, I haven't experienced an earthquake yet. So I do plan on doing some things here inside the cabin to prep the cabin a little bit better in the event of an earthquake. I have some product that I use called Quake Putty. It's something that's typically used on RVs or sailboats to help hold items in place so that when you're rocking in motion, those things don't tip over or slide and what have you. And I've used the Quake Putty here to hold things down. And then also I'll be running some bungee cords along the front of my pantry shelves in case there is some earthquake activity, that those things don't rattle themselves off the shelves and break. As I mentioned previously, there were a lot of questions. And so I'm going to pause this video here just so I can make sure that it gets uploaded, because my upload speeds are so slow, as I mentioned previously. And I will then be posting the next part of this Q&A here today as well. So stick around for that, and I hope that you'll watch that one as well. And be sure to check out these other videos.